Studies show that being subscribed to KoalaMarta channel boosts happiness by 45%. Please like. KoalaSubbies! It's Marta Monday. Having emotional intelligence can be of extreme value. What more of a beautiful gift that you can give to someone else than your true presence? Live from the studio, it's Marta Skiba. An independent study has found that following KoalaMarta on Instagram boosts dopamine levels by 200%. You are the ring light queen, young and sweet, only 35. Exposed. Hi KoalaSubbies! Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another Marta Mondays. I am so happy to have you guys here. I just want to express once again my incredible gratitude. I am so extremely grateful for everybody who commented, everyone who gave a big fat thumbs up. As a new YouTuber, that helps me out a lot, and I love connecting with you guys. I'm always going to reply to every single comment. You know, up until I get thousands of comments, right? So is the plan, so is the hope. You know, I need 900 more subscribers until that 1,000 mark, but we'll get there. I know what you came here for. I know why you're here. You want to fill that brain with some good knowledge. Maybe you want to see these gains. I am here to make Mondays suck less, like it's my job. So here we go with another Marta Mondays, and I'm here to empower you, to let you know how you can better your life, and just be your friend. You know, I want this to be like a little cafe where you know, just hanging out with your bestie, and I really do want to get to know you guys. I'm keeping a little journal of all my YouTube ideas, but I love hearing from you guys. You know, I'm here to give you what you want, so what do you want? So what is today's Marta Mondays lecture about? Is class ready? We're gonna be starting the session. Is everyone attending? All right, grab your popcorn. All my students are here. Welcome. I'm recording from my bedroom because I just felt like being cozy and I got my lights set up. KoalaSubbies, I'm really excited for today's video. Today we're going to be looking at emotional intelligence, also known as EQ. I'm going to give you 6 different tips in order to train and increase your emotional intelligence so that you can improve your life. I'm a deep believer that some of us are born with certain skills, some are not, but we all have the ability to grow that like a muscle with practice. I truly believe this. I used to not be very disciplined, but this is something that I've grown and I've learned to do, and now I'm flexing my real muscle, my discipline muscle, and while I'm not exactly perfect, I have definitely made strides. Some of you may have heard about emotional intelligence. I'm sure most of you have. It's been a big buzzword in the last decade or so. There's books about it, businesses talk about it. Having better emotional intelligence is going to help you in all sorts of areas of life, including your relationship, your workplace, the way you empathize with others, and generally the way that you feel about yourself. Have you ever met someone that's really brilliant? They have a crazy science background, they can do the most intense math, they spit facts, they are just so well read, but then when you are dealing with this person, you realize that their emotional intelligence is pretty low and it can make the interactions pretty frustrating. Improving your emotional intelligence is going to help you on so many levels in so many areas of life. I do believe that this is something that some perhaps are born with more than others. However, I am a deep believer that we all can, with practice, with dedication, grow a certain skill, a certain way of being into fruition. Emotional intelligence is the ability to manage and express your emotions in healthy and respectful ways. Having emotional intelligence can be of extreme value in the workplace so that your coworkers may understand you better. It is incredibly important in relationships, whether that is romantic, whether this is relationships with family. When people are able to manage their emotions better, they're gonna be better people to communicate with. People who are able to manage their emotions naturally bring out the best in others. It is much easier to be around someone that's emotionally intelligent because you know they're gonna be able to take your feelings into account, not make rash decisions. And on the whole, I've noticed that I feel better when I'm around people who I perceive have higher emotional intelligence. I'm giving you these tips because I believe that we all can learn to flex and grow this muscle of emotional intelligence. Before I jump into the 6 ways to increase your emotional intelligence, I want to take a moment to define 4 characteristics that people with high emotional intelligence possess. The first one of these being self-awareness. People that are emotionally intelligent have a high and very developed sense of being self-aware and mindful of the things that are going on inside of their mind. The second characteristic of someone that has high emotional intelligence is empathy. The third one is the ability to manage emotional responses correctly. So these people don't let their emotions override. They are not impulsive. They recognize these feelings within themselves, but they take a moment to pause and reflect before reacting to a situation. The fourth characteristic of people with high emotional intelligence is the ability to keep and balance healthy relationships in their lives. Okay, so diving right into my 6 tips that I hope will help you increase your emotional intelligence. So the first tip that I would give you in order to increase your emotional intelligence is to practice meditation and mindfulness. All of this hype that we have heard about meditation and awareness and mindfulness is there for a reason, because this stuff really does help balance you. I highly encourage you to take 5 to 10 minutes every single day to meditate. And while it's going to be hard in the beginning, and I still struggle sometimes in certain meditations where I feel my mind wandering, this is something I picked up from the Headspace app, where Andy, one of the instructors, he talks about recognizing when your mind wanders and not fighting it and not becoming upset about it, but simply noting it and taking that as, okay, note, I am thinking about something, and then simply returning to the breath and bringing that awareness back into your breath. You will notice that with time, you are able to become much better at meditating, and the effects of a simple 5 to 10 minute meditation in the morning can truly make a difference in the tone of your day. I have personally noticed that when I meditate, there is a shift in me and in my day that completely rearranges the structure, the architecture of my day, the architecture of my mind. It's really difficult to put into words, but the best way I can put it is that I feel a sort of soothing and calmness about me, about my thoughts, about interacting with others, and I feel that my thoughts are a lot more level-headed and calm. So I highly recommend that you try meditation. You can use the Headspace app, which I use. I actually have a favorite YouTube channel, which I will link down below. It's called Great Meditation, and that channel will forever be my favorite source for meditations. The lady that leads most of the meditations has such a soothing voice, and she is able to take you through imagery, imagination to such a serene state that, you know, you guys just try it and you can't tell me you don't feel different. That's all I'm saying. Something that has helped me become more mindful, something that has helped me be more cognizant of my own thoughts, which is called metacognition in psychology. I mentioned this in a previous video, is slowing down your speech and really thinking about your thinking. So I highly recommend meditating, which will actually, by the definition alone, increase your mindfulness. A big technique that almost all meditation uses, as far as I'm aware, is focusing back on the breath. And when you find your mind wandering, your breath and that automatic in and out is going to be a constant, like the blue sky. It's always there. So when you find yourself drifting off, catching that random thought, don't beat yourself up. Note that thought, but then take that moment to put that thought away, note it, come back to your breath. And coming back to your breath, coming back home to yourself, coming back to your breath is going to automatically bring you awareness because you're aware of that breathing sensation, and that is wonderful. My second tip to help you achieve better, higher emotional intelligence is to practice active listening. Now, some of you may have heard this term, some of you may have not. What is active listening? It's also referred to as level 4 listening. And active listening means that you are actively engaged in hearing the person that's talking to you and completely taking in all the information they're saying, being mindful and aware that your own mind isn't going off to, oh my gosh, my grocery store list, or thinking about whatever they're wearing, or going off on a tangent as to some little detail they just talked about. It's keeping your mind consistently clear on that person that is speaking to you and absorbing every word they're saying and truly listening, looking them in the eye and giving them that affirmation and truly listening. I think the hardest thing about active listening, at least for me, is that I know my mind, as much as I want to sometimes listen to that person, offer them my presence, my mind still will randomly think about some random errand or, you know, chocolate Japanese cheesecake recipe. I don't know, whatever. But this is where mindfulness is gonna step in, where when you catch yourself in these moments, you realize, you recenter yourself, like, oh, thought, throw that away, focus back on the breath, focus back on the person. And I promise you, with effort and time, you're gonna get much better at it. And what more of a beautiful gift that you can give to someone else than your true presence and truly listening to them? You know, when you flip the tables around, how wonderful have you felt when somebody truly heard you and gave you that attention just to absorb whatever you needed to say, to vent? I think offering our presence is one of the biggest gifts that we can give to someone, our full, undivided attention. Practicing active listening will definitely up your emotional intelligence level. You can do it. Be mindful. The third tip that I have for you guys in order to help increase your emotional intelligence is to just be more open-minded. I have noticed that a lot of us are very rigid. We see things black and white. And I, from personal experience, have noticed that when I'm open-minded and realize that I'm forever a student of this university of life and opening myself up to others' opinions, other people's thoughts and influences and feedback, being open-minded will take you so far in life. And in that sense as well, being open-minded is going to allow you to see different perspectives, see how other people think. And when you are more open-minded, people automatically feel more comfortable around you, and thus they will feel that you are emotionally intelligent by being able to entertain whatever they have to say, to being open to hearing them. When you are open-minded, it automatically will raise your emotional intelligence. Hey there, sorry to interrupt the tips that you're taking. I just want to take a moment to quickly ask you to subscribe if you haven't yet, if you enjoy my content, because it really, really helps grow my channel and it means the world to me. So thank you. So my fourth tip, in order to raise your EQ, you want to be able to stay calm under pressure and respond instead of reacting. What do I mean by that? So we all are creatures of emotions, of feeling, and when someone doesn't have a very self-regulated, managed way of managing their impulses, their emotions, sometimes toxic and bad emotions like anger, jealousy can get the best of us. And I'm sure all of us can say or remember a moment where we didn't act the best way that we could, and in retrospect it possibly caused some regrets. But what is life but one big great university? So I like to believe, just like the Rihanna's tattoo says, never a failure, always a lesson. And this is the mindset that I recommend to all of you guys. We all have regrets, mistakes, but you know what that also means? That means that we can learn from that and become better people. The biggest trick and tip I have for you in order to help yourself when emotions get high, when you feel that impulsivity of anger, of jealousy, whatever bad emotion that can cause you to outburst on a coworker, that can cause you to flip out on your boyfriend, that moment when that happens, just try your best to step back and maybe take a time out. But being cognizant and mindful of the emotions and taking even a few breaths, counting down, and shifting your perspective is going to pull you back. And this can really save you a lot of heartache in life. And also, it will make other people see that you are a highly emotionally intelligent person that can handle difficult situations without emotional outbursts or anger or unnecessary things that can just lead you into trouble. So the fifth tip actually comes from right here, my big old brain that's hiding in there. In Polish it's called mózg. There's my mózg. So my fifth tip for increasing emotional intelligence by yours truly, I would say, is to put things into perspective and have a sense of humor. Sometimes all these little frustrations in life can feel like the end of it all, like this is all so frustrating. But take a moment, please do take a moment to, just like the joke says, don't take life too seriously, you'll never get out alive. Have you guys heard that joke? It's so funny because it's true. Whatever your belief system is, right now, this meat skeleton, this avatar that I'm in, this is my one and only chance for this lifetime. I happen to believe in multiple lifetimes, but that's another video. Anyhow, as we are all just units of energy covered in this great meat costume that a skeleton is wearing, and when you think about how giant the universe is, how long life has existed, and that our little life is just nothing. It's microscopic. And to stress about certain things is just not worth it. Your life is so precious. It is so short. And let me tell you guys, because I'm serious, the teacher is serious. Are you listening? Life is to be enjoyed. We are here to enjoy life. We are here to enjoy life. You are here to enjoy life. KoalaSubbies, I want you to know that you are here to enjoy life, to savor life, to bask in the universe and all that it wants for you, to feel the rain on your skin, to enjoy, to travel. We are all beautiful children of the universe here to savor this precious life. So when you get yourself caught up in some little thing that is about to make you go apeshit, step back. Step back on the vastness of life, perspective that we're on this tiny little planet in the universe. Just shift everything into perspective and think about how short life is. Sense of humor really helps as well, because sometimes we're all so caught up taking ourselves seriously when you have to realize that being a little silly and not taking yourself too seriously is gonna make your life so much better. My sixth tip has to do with something I mentioned in a previous video, is to ask yourself, what is this teaching me? And also being open and receptive to feedback. I think a lot of times, naturally, we as human beings can be very fragile and sensitive, especially when it comes to taking feedback or suggestions from others, because there's something innate in us that makes us feel, oh, am I not good enough? Oh, I thought I was doing it right. And just becoming defensive, that's just ego. That's all of us. We all have this sort of MO to take things personally, which also I mentioned in the previous video. Try your best to not take things personally. So you will notice that when you are open to feedback, when you implement certain changes that perhaps your boss, your girlfriend, whomever has suggested to you, without that blockage of your ego stopping you from taking those messages in, you will be surprised how far you'll come. And to be honest, that's only going to make you a better person. Taking these tips into account and running with them and bettering yourself is going to benefit you, it's going to benefit those around you, and it's going to make you actually more emotionally intelligent, and people will notice and want to be around someone that's emotionally intelligent. So that's it, guys. Those are tips for increasing your emotional intelligence. Please let me know if there's any tips that you have found along the way on your life journey, or if there's something maybe you've seen in others, or how would you describe someone that's emotionally intelligent in your eyes? Last but not least, thank you so much for being here for another Marta Mondays. I hope that you found these helpful. I hope that you see that I'm becoming a little less weird and just purely myself in front of the camera, because that's what I want to be. I just want to be myself. Marta! And while I'm kind of a silly girl, I also like to think that I have something in there. I do. I'm smart. Having emotional intelligence when dealing with frustrating things in life, really anything in life, the person that is going to have higher emotional intelligence is going to be able to live a more balanced life. They're going to be more liked, and that's a wonderful thing for the world and for yourself. So I encourage you to try your best, and that's the beauty of this life, is that every day we polish, we become better versions of ourselves. We use the mistakes that we made in order to gain perspective and become better people for ourselves and those around us. I'm such a professional. Oh yes, I am. Subscribe! Can I go to sleep now? You know, they don't know. Bye, guys.